My name is Dave, and I'm here with a new show called Ask the Music. It's a video series where musicians ask questions of their own music. People would always think I was weird doing it, but then there's women on TikTok and people all over now doing it. So it's a growing movement, and we're getting it out there through musicians now. We're saying, hey, your favorite musicians are going to start doing it with their own questions. Maybe you should check it out too. I'm sitting here with Aaron Astrodamus.
Yes, Aaron Astrodamus. It's kind of a riff off my real name. It is kind of a play on Nostradamus.
Nostradamus. You're kind of combining astrology and Nostradamus all in one, which is kind of what we're doing with this Ask the Music project.
Yeah, there's some synchronicity already. Some of my songs I do play with the idea of predicting the future.
Whoa, you do?
Yeah.
Hey, okay. Do you ask questions yourself of in your life? Like, do you do tarot? What do you do?
I per se don't do tarot. My wife does. It seems like every girl I've ever dated has done tarot and has had a tarot deck. I've had some really fascinating readings. I know one that was not particularly good, like in terms of my fate, came true. And so it's almost like I don't want to know. Like, I don't ask questions, when am I going to die? Or, some things are best left unknown. But I'm a big believer in synchronicities and always looking for the signs of the universe.
Maybe you have a better outcome with music than you did with these tarot decks. We'll see.
Maybe.
So just to explain the game to people, we're going to have Aaron ask a question of his own music and see where that goes.
Yeah, lately I have been having trouble sleeping. So I have a sense that there's some sort of, anxiety or something that's keeping me up at night.
Oh, wow.
What is the root of that anxiety?
I love that question. I love you going for that, the vulnerability of that. That's a beautiful question. Let's have you do the shuffle. I mean, you gotta be the power that does it. When you're ready, just hit it. Saturday Disasters.
Saturday Disaster.
That bastard was a Saturday disaster, and he just kept on going faster. We all knew that he would crash her.
This song is actually about James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, John Belushi, Kurt Cobain, and people who have shined brightly and died young. I think it's too late for me in terms of that. So, but that song I had written a long time ago.
Yeah, how old were you when you wrote that? Were you closer to 27?
Nearing that age, so I think that's probably why it was on my mind. It was the 90s, and I was sort of dabbling in the same sort of reckless behavior as some of those guys. And so I think that was kind of the question then, is like, am I going to be another casualty? Now it's like I have, a wife, a son. There is a part of me that looks back at that time almost sort of romanticizing some parts of that time in my life. But possibly there's a fear that, maybe I might fall off the wagon or get, sucked back into that lifestyle. Just being around other musicians, there's always lots of partying and whatnot going on.
Are you glad that you've lived and have the family and the child? Would you rather have been one of the most famous musicians ever, like Kurt Cobain, and die at 27?
I think if I was 27, maybe if I was going to make a deal with the devil, maybe I would die at that age and have my music live on forever. Now I'm very happy that didn't happen. Love my wife, love my son, love being alive. So, I'm very happy that, I didn't blow my head off high on heroin. I want my music to make an impact, and I do want to have an impact in the world, like James Dean, like Marilyn Monroe, like Kurt Cobain, and I don't feel like I've gotten there yet. And so it is hard for me to truly relax and at night sleep. There's always a part of me that's like, you should be creating, you should be doing something right now.
So I read this book called The Denial of Death, and it's really about that. It's about how basically in our life we're trying to prevent death by either biologically reproducing or creatively reproducing. So you're either trying to make a piece of art that's going to live forever, or you're going to make a child that's going to continue on. So it's like we have these two drives, and what you spoke to with the Cobain and is trying to create a complete creative legacy, and then the balance with the biological. So I feel like it's a common thing. We don't really think about it in terms of anxiety and death, but it's extreme anxiety. It's that anxiety of fear of death and not like making something of ourselves before we die. So does that speak to you, or what do you think?
It really does. Lately I have been asking that question, like, what is my legacy? Is my legacy my son? And I would be totally, on one level, totally fine with that. I think, on a biological level, that is sort of our purpose as humans to reproduce. And, there's something of my creative side I would love to leave behind. And if I was discovered after I was dead, even, I can't say that would make me happy because I would be dead. But the thought of that even is lightens me up. So yeah, maybe there is something to that, the kind of that existential question of like, what is my purpose? Have I fulfilled my purpose? Am I going in that direction?
Yeah.
To leave that legacy behind.
Love that. I gotta tell you that your song Rocket Ship, I listened to it in the last week. It's already on my on repeat.
Nice.
On Spotify, top 25 song. So guys at home, Rocket Ship.
Yeah.
Fucking put it up.
Crank it up. People seem to like that one.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
I think it's catchy, and probably because I didn't spend very much time on it. Those seem to be the ones that people latch onto. Just has kind of a fun, upbeat energy. You can dance to it.
It feels like a 90s song, like in the best possible way.
I am a 90s aficionado.
Yeah, you grew up in that era. You seem
Grew up with kind of the 90s music being a major influence, so it's carried with me. Even modern bands that I like today kind of harken back to the 90s.
It's got like a Smashing Pumpkins vibe to it, like that, like you said, that guitar.
Story behind Rocket Ship, I composed the music first, and to me the music just sounded like a rocket, blowing off. Yeah, I'm gonna just, write a song about a rocket ship with no real, heavy, deep meaning necessarily, but it's more of just like a rockin', fun kind of celebration of life. I was sort of envisioning, people floating around in the space shuttle or something with the Earth, revolving or rotating in the window behind them, and something about that image was really inspiring. From what I understand, when people are on the space shuttle looking down at Earth, they have this sense of, wow, our problems are just so small in comparison to the whole universe.
That's one of the beauties of music, is you can just be in that ecstatic moment where just all the problems drift away. The reason why I'm interested in practice as well is like I have a really strong mood disorder. So like synchronicity and shuffling, like synchronicities are actually tied to your mood. The more your mood is affected, the more chance you have of synchronicities happening in your life. For me, when I hear a song like Rocket Ship, like that immediately like regulates my mood into a positive mindset and allows me to like get through something or like live in that joy for as long as I need to be. So I'll just put that song on repeat and like hear that like 20 times in a row, and that will like bring me out like a little depression and stuff. It really matters.
I'm glad that song has that impact.
And I think that's why the synchronicity too matter, because if you're feeling something and it's echoed in the real world by, like if you feel this thought and you're trying to figure it out, and then it's created by the playlist that's external to you, it's like, oh, there's some force that's saying I'm with you during this moment. I'm here, I see what you're going through in your small journey, and I'm helping you.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get people to like know they're not alone through their own music? And I think
it's interesting because a lot of times the songs that I write, I feel like I'm not even writing them.
that's the beautiful thing. Yeah.
Like it's being transmitted somehow, and it's coming through. I mean, I have had that thought that we're just like human receivers, and there's
Some
God
force.
or an alien is just transmitting these things that already exist, and we just put them together as art and music.
Where can we find you?
Right now, I am working in the studio, and so I am working on releasing an album, polishing them up.
In the summer, gonna jump into the ocean. You'll get a sunburn and I'll slather you with lotion. It's just a bummer that we don't live near.
Thank you for asking music with us.
Yeah, thank you. This was fun.
Thanks so much. Yeah. All right, y'all at home, start asking the music, guys. You'll find some answers, hopefully.
Listen, and you can hear my vision.